Hello and welcome, it's Bulldog Games again. We're back for another farming system tutorial, episode 4. In the last episode we started with creating the inventories. So we created the pickup interface, which just created a few functions in here. We also created the inventory widget of where it's going to sit on the screen. And we also created the pick up item button, which is obviously where we're going to select the item that we want to do. Now, let me just make sure that everything's working fine, because I don't want it to be too loud for you. Right, okay, that should be good. Right, so the first thing that we need to actually do is on the third character, we now need to make this inventory here. When we click play, for it to pop up and display on our screen. Now, obviously, if you know your way around Unreal, you'll know how to do this. You can put it on a flip flop. You can add it to a tab button. So tab will open, tab again will close. I'm just simply going to put it on begin play, specifically because I'm not actually making a game out of this system. This system is to implement into a game. So what I really want to do is on event begin play, I want to create the widget. Okay, I want to create the widget, and the class of that widget that I want to create is the inventory. Okay, owning player can stay the same. That's good. Right, the next thing that we want to do is right click here and promote to variable, because I'm going to use this inventory widget as my HUD widget, and it's good to have a reference on your third person character to your HUD. Okay, so I'm going to call this obviously HUD widget. Okay, and then from here I want to add to viewport. Nice and easy bit of coding. Okay, so it's really quite. Oh, there's me and my family. I'm just getting my other system up here, just so I know what we're sort of going in at. Okay, on the next episode. No, not on the next episode, the next step. So on the event begin play, we're going to create the inventory widget. We're going to set it so now this is a variable we can use, a good reference that we can use, and we're going to add it to viewport. The next thing we want to do, because obviously now when we press play and we go, it's going to pop this inventory widget on, but we ain't going to be able to use the mouse. Okay, to click on it, we're going to want to be able to use the mouse and rotate the camera. Okay, all in the same aspect, a bit like a RuneScape sort of UI. So the first thing we need to do is get the player controller. Okay, so we need to get the player controller. Pretty easy peasy. We need to pull off the return value and we need to set the input. Okay, maybe not. Oh, we need to set the input to game and UI. Okay, we don't need to add the widget to focus. Okay, we do not need to lock the mouse and the hide cursor during capture. So during screenshots, I believe that is. I think maybe we know, never know. And also we need to pull off the get player controller and we need to set. So we need to set the show mouse cursor. But you have to pull off the player controller, because if you type here and type in set show, it won't show you. Okay, you have to pull off the controller to get that. Okay, so and then we're just going to quickly tick yes to that. We're going to compile, we're going to save, and we're going to play. So now I can click over here, but I can still move. And then if I do want to move, I have to click and move. Okay, so it doesn't move with a thing, but we can click and move, and we can do what we want. Okay, we could lock it to screen, I guess. Lock always, maybe, just to make it so it doesn't fall off the bloody side of the cursor. Yeah, so when you're moving about, you ain't gonna fall off. So yeah, we'll probably do that. That's probably a little bit better. Okay, and then obviously we can click on here the icons that we want. Okay, so that's the first step. Yeah, so that's the first thing we need to do. The next step that we need to do, I believe, is in the ground. Or is it master seed? It might be the master seed. Let's destroy a tree. What do I do with it? There we go. Right, so on the BP third person, we need to create a function, okay? So on the BP third person, we need to create a function. So we're going to need to add a function. So just press this little plus button here. Yeah, and this function is going to be called add item to inventory, okay? Add item to inventory. Got this pro inventory in. Okay, and on this we're going to add a couple of inputs. Now I just want to make sure that on the interface we haven't got that, because I don't think we've actually implemented that this pickup item interface on this third person. So we're going to quickly add that. So go to your third person class settings and type pick up item interface. We're going to compile and we're going to save. Now no, look, there isn't a add item to inventory. Okay, so I've fully progressed onto this system, and I just want to quickly show you what I've actually achieved, just so you know what we're sort of looking at. So if I bring over, if it lets me, it's now frozen. If I bring over this secondary system and press play, this is how much I've progressed. So we will be building this all the way to the end, but yeah, so obviously we're going to be implementing stuff into this blueprint that we're not going to be using just yet. It is coming, but it will take me about 2 hours to get, not 2 hours worth of footage, probably 4 videos to get to this stage. So the aim of now is obviously you can still pick up trees and you can still plant them, but these are flowers, okay? The aim is that you can't plant these flowers unless the ground has become dug over. So if you click on the spade, it creates a spade. If you then click on a spot, it will create a dirt spat, which you can create the dirt patch as much as you want. Okay, so you can create that. You can pick up these. So these will sit in your inventory, which are pears and yeah, trees and blah blah. So when you select these and you try and place these down, it won't let you place them. Okay, so if we press the button, it will place it on the dirt patch, but if we go onto the grass, it won't place. Okay, so we can't place on the dirt, on the grass. We can place on the dirt patch. If we click on the other one, okay, we can place it on the dirt, but we can't place it on the grass. Okay, so this is what we're doing. We've got different tools here. So we've got obviously the shovel, we've got the saw, which hasn't been implemented yet, a hammer, a pickaxe, and just hands at the moment. Okay, so you can still plant the trees how normal, you know, and they will grow up. So all that works. Once they grow up, you can harvest them and blah 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 blah. But what you see here is obviously we are now generating the world. Instead of placing one single tile down, we are now placing numerous tiles down. So when we press play, it's now generating the ground that we're sitting on. So I will walk you through all that. That's just a quick side off. I'm sorry, but I just wanted to get that into the video so you know what's coming. And yeah, so like I said, we might implement stuff in this video. We might implement stuff into this video which we ain't going to use yet, but we will be using it. Okay, so the first thing that I need to do is pull a branch out. Okay, so on here we need a few inputs. Okay, so the first input is going to be the item class. Okay, and that is going to be an actor class reference. Oh my god, here we go again. An actor class reference. Okay, we're gonna go to the next one. The next one's going to be an item icon. Okay, so obviously that's going to be a texture 2D. I've really got to update this. It's really driving me mental. having to do this twice. It's just so slow. And then also we're going to add a max stack. Okay. And that's going to be an integer. An integer. We're going to compile and we're going to save that. So what we're going to do, we're going to come out of the execution pin and get a branch. Okay. And then off this branch, we're going to pull this back and get a greater than sign. Okay. And the greater than sign is going to go from here into the max stack. Okay. We want to make sure that we've got one of these. Okay. To make it true. Yeah. This will all work out in a minute. This is what we want to achieve. Okay. This is a big function, but it'll be better in the long run. Okay. Right. So on the next thing now, we want to come off the true pin and get a for each loop with break. Okay. And the for each loop with break is going to go through all the inventory widget inventory boxes. Okay, so all the children, we want to make sure that we have room. We are now building the inventory. Okay, so from here we now need to get a reference to the inventory widget, which we've done. Okay, we've got the HUD widget, so we're going to pull from the HUD widget, yeah, and then we're going to get the inventory. We should have inventory box. No, we don't have the inventory box. Why don't we have the inventory box? We pulled it in, so this here is the inventory box. So why can't we get a reference to this inventory box here from that? Right, so that is this compiled. This is compiled. Pick up compiled. Pick up compiled. Right. So from the HUD widget, we want to get the inventory box. Why can't I get that inventory box? One sec. See, this is the thing. It's not a fucking variable. So go into your inventory, click on your inventory box and click it as a variable. Okay? So make sure it's a variable, because then you won't be able to cast it if you're not. Right, so get inventory box, and we need to create an array for that. Okay, so that's no, we do not need to do that. Right, one sec. Right, so get a HUD widget, inventory box, get all children. Okay, so we're going to get all the children of what's in the widget at the moment. Okay, there'll be nothing in the widget as from now, but when we start populating the inventory box, it will then create that we have that. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is pull out of the array element, because now we do have an inventory box and we need to get the pickup interface. Okay, so we need to call from the element array the pick item data message. Okay, this is what we need to pick. We need to connect them together. Okay, the item class, we now need to make sure that they are exactly the same as this item class here. Message. Okay, and then we're going to obviously do a branch to make sure that that is true, because if it's true, we're then going to do the next thing. Okay, so from the get item data current stack, we need to add 1 to it. Okay, so if it's true, if we do have this class in our inventory, then we just want to add 1 to this. Okay, if we now we want to make sure that obviously we've got a stack amount, so now we want to make sure that the stack amount is not higher. So if we have 5 and it can only stack up to 5, it will then create a new widget. So this is what we're going to do. So we're going to do less than or equal to the max stack. Okay, and then obviously we're going to go back into a branch again. Okay, and that's going to go straight into the true pin. Right. And then what we're going to do out of true, we're going to call another function on that interface. So right at the start, we created them functions. So we now want to add pick up item to stack. Okay. Once we get the add item pick up to stack, we then want to set that it has item added. But I don't think we've actually got that. So we need to create a new variable, and we need to create is item added question mark. We want to pull this out and set this to true. Okay, and then we want to pull this all the way back round to the for each loop with break. Neaten it up a bit. So I'll show you this in a minute from afar, and you'll be able to okay, so this is the first section. So we're getting a HUD widget, inventory box, getting all children of the inventory box, because we're checking to see if what we've picked up, if we already have an inventory box created. We've already had an inventory box created, already in there. Okay, and then obviously we're doing the check to see if the class is the same. We're doing the check to see if it's less or greater than the actual stack size. If it isn't, then create a new one. Then we're going to add the pickup item to stack. And that's the wrong one to call. It needs to call the one out of the array element. I'm so sorry. So this add pickup here, we need to go add pickup item message. Okay, so we need to get rid of this one and put this up here, and that comes off the array element. Pop that up there and pop that up there. That's it, runs along there, nice and neat. You can read it as it comes. Okay, so then connect them back up. So that's what we're doing. Right, so now what we're going to achieve out of the for each loop with break, if it's completed, yeah, and the item isn't added, we need to come out of complete, get a branch, check to see if the item isn't added. Okay, so if the item isn't added, yeah, then we need to create the pickup widget. So off the false, not the pickup widget, on the false, we need to create, yeah, the pickup widget, yeah. So we need to create a widget. Oh God. We need to create a widget, and the class of that widget is pickup item. Okay, the owning player is exactly the same because we're in the third person character, so it's a reference to self. Okay, what we need to pull out of this pickup item, we need to pull this up and get item icon. Leave that at the top. We then need to get the item class from here. So we need to pull from here down to here and get item. I think we actually need to set it. Do we need to set item class? Yes, we do. So we need to create a variable item class, and then yep, it's going to be an actor class that I'm probably going to have to type in bloody twice. An actor class reference. Okay, so we're going to put that there, and we're going to set this, and we're going to drag this pin into this pin. Reroll note, just make it a little bit neater until it's nice and straight. There we go. Right, so that's going to go from the widget to the set. So we set now the item class, okay? And then from the item icon, we now need to set the brush, okay? So set brush as an image. And the brush itself is going to come from this item icon here. So we need, what we need to do, we need to pull this down and make brush from texture. So make brush from texture. Okay, and the width is the size of your images. Okay, so mine's 100 by 100. That's what we made the slot, the item pickup slot. And then we're going to pull straight from here and plug that into brush. Get a reroll note so it looks a lot neater, because we are going to need to create some more. Okay, so I'm hoping you're with me. Like I said, this is very intricate. So what we need to do now is pull off the max stack. and we need to set it, I believe. I think we need to set the current stack. No, we need to set the max stack. Okay, well, we don't have a max stack, do we? Okay, 1 sec. Right. So from here, set max. No, it's got to be current stack, innit? So why are we setting the max stack there? This is the current stack. So where's this come from then? It's come from somewhere else. Okay, I know where it's come from. So where you've got this return value from your pickup widget, you need to pull off here, yeah, as the target. Okay, so it's come under here, and we need to set max. Do we have a max stack? Did I put it as a variable? Okay, 1 sec. Yeah, we have not created that yet. So in the pickup item, so you've got obviously the stack size. We're going to change this variable name, so the text of this, to stack size text. Okay, we're going to compile that and we're going to save that. We're going to go back to the graph and we're going to create a few more variables because we are going to need them. Okay, the first one is going to be the item class. Okay, and yeah, actor, because everything depends on that class. Okay, going to create one more, two more, and one's going to be current stack, and that is a integer, and the other one is going to be max stack. Okay, and that is going to be an integer as well. We're going to compile and we're going to save that. Okay, we're going to go back to the third person character. We're going to pull off here and set max stack. I'll pop that in there. I'm going to grab that down there so it looks a little bit neater so we can read it a little bit better. Okay, and the max stack is obviously going to come from this max stack here. So we're going to bring this one right down here and it can go right across the top. And then it's snug nicely there. Okay, so now what we need to do, because we're now going to set the max stack, so we want to, we're going to set the image icon. So on these pickup items, we're setting what they should be. So what class it should be, what image icon it should be, and what the max stack should be. Okay. And then obviously what we're going to do, we're going to then add the child, yeah, to the inventory. So what we're going to grab is we're going to grab the inventory widget again, so the HUD widget. We're going to pull off here and get the inventory box. Okay, and then from the inventory box we need to add child to wrap box. Okay, so the wrap box is in this box here. No, inventory shop is into the wrap box. So what we're achieving here is we're going to create this widget inside this wrap box. Okay, and the content is going to obviously be from our widget of what we want to achieve. So we're going to compile and we're going to save that. So we're going to get an error. Property associated could not be found. Okay. Is that because the pickup item isn't saved? Is that because the inventory isn't saved? Yeah. Okay. Right, so there's one more thing that we need to do. So obviously once we've done the check to see if we actually have the inventory item, or we're going to stack the item, or create a new pickup widget, off the false pin of this branch we need to plug it into here. Okay? Because if the item isn't added, then we need to create the widget. So that's pretty much what that is. Compile, save. Okay, so now when we pick up something, when we just in a minute we're going to create the blueprint for that. When we pick up something, it's going to add it to the inventory, and then when we want to use it, we're going to use it. Okay, so that's a little bit what you're what your blueprint should look like. Okay, I tried to keep it as slow as possible, but yeah, it does work, and I know it's a little bit tricky, but we'll get there. Right, okay, so now what we need to do is go back to the event graph, and I've tidied this up a little bit. I've put the plant tree in a comment box, I've put the destroyed tree in a comment box, and the widget that's still growing in a comment box. We do need to add one of these variables over here. So the pickup item, we need to call it from the interface. Okay, and what we need to call that to, our function. Okay, so what we need to do is pull off here and call add item to inventory. Okay, so on this event pickup, from the pickup interface, I haven't got it open, but from the pickup interface, we need to now add the item. So the first thing that we need to do is set the item class. Okay, so we already made the item class actor here. Okay, so we're going to pull this and set, and we're going to drag this item class into here, we're going to drag that into there, and that into there. That's our first section. Yeah, sorry, my kid come down. So we're going to pull from this item class and we're going to set it. We're also going to pull from this item class and pop it into the add to inventory item class. Same with the icon and same with the max stack. Okay, so that's the next step onto that for call. So that just joins everything together. Let's have a quick look what else we've got to do here. I believe we've got to go to master seed now, and yeah, we do. We need to get the actor begin overlap, I think. So if we go to the master seed event graph, what do we have here? We just have the event begin play, and we also have the component. Okay, so like I said, there's going to be a few things on it, because obviously from the referencing that I'm doing, it's going to cross over. So there is going to be stuff that we're going to implement, but we're not going to use it till next video. So the first thing we need to get is the event actor begin overlap. Okay, and then out of the other actor, we want does implement, obviously, the pick up interface, and we're going to branch that, and we're going to put that to true. Okay, and then obviously what we're going to do now is we're going to check to see if it's a pickup interface, but we do not want it to overlap a child of a master C class. Okay, so if they're close together, it's not going to interact with each other. Yeah, so we're just going to literally pull out of the other actor, we're going to get the class of the other actor, and then we're going to pull out of here and get class of child. Okay, and the parent class is the master seed. Okay, and then obviously we're going to do a branch again. Yeah, and we're going to put that into as false from there. Do we? No, we don't. We put it from true to true. Okay, the next thing we want to do is get the pickup item again. Okay, so in here we have the item class. Yeah, we have the item class, but we do not have the item icon, and we do not have the stack size. Okay, so we need to create them variables. So we need to get item icon, and that's going to be a texture. It's going to be a texture 2D, and it's going to be, we're going to be able to instant editable it. So when we create an item, we're going to be able to add these values in. Right, one more variable, and that is going to be the stack size. Okay, and that's going to be a integer, and that's also going to be instant editing. Okay, so what we need to do we're going to check to see if they implement the interface. If they do implement the interface, and then they're not a class of the master seed, okay, we want to pick up the item. So at false, no, we do not. Out of other item, we want to pick up item, which is another message from our pickup item interface. Okay, so we're going to get the class from there. We're going to pop that in there. We're going to get the icon, and we're going to pop that in there. And we're going to get the stack amount, and we're going to pop that in there. Okay, so every item that we create, a child print of this master seed, is going to get its own item class, is going to get its own item icon, and it's going to get its own stack size. That's what we're going to use. Okay, so when we pick this up, now what we want to do is destroy actor. Oh, spelt destroy one. And then we're going to want to destroy the actor. So once we overlap, that's what we're going to get. So once we overlap a specific item, and it's a child, yeah, and it is not a child of the master seed, okay, because the master seed is placeables. Yeah, we're going to be picking up stuff, we're not going to be placing stuff, so we do not want to pick up something that's growing. So this is what this does. Okay, so it stops us picking up. So for example, if we placed a tree and it was growing, we can't pick the tree back up before it's finished growing. That's the reason why it's on the false pin. And then obviously once you pick it up, we destroy the actor. Okay, so that's the way the master seed now sits and works. Okay, that is the planted section, which we don't need to do yet. Have we got anything else up here that we need? No, I don't think so. Prior to the tree trunk delay, but that's nothing. We can sort that out later on. We're doing the inventory at the moment. Okay. Right. So now the next thing we need to do is on the master seed, we need to go up to the class settings and add the interface. Okay. So we need to add the pickup item interface. We need to compile. We need to save that. The third person character, we need to make sure that that's implemented. Because if these are not implemented, it will not work. And the widget for the pickup item also, we need to make sure that that has the pickup item interface implemented. Okay, we're going to compile and we're going to save. Now the reason for this is because we're going to do a little bit of work in this widget now. So I'm going to get rid of these. I'm going to zoom out a tiny bit. Okay, and I need to call the event add pick item to stack. Okay, these are all, if you watched at the end of the last episode, we created all of these functions within this pickup item interface. I should have done it at the start of this episode, but we had a little bit of time left at the last episode, so I'll put it there. Okay, so we're going to get the event add pickup item to stack. Now what we want to do is come out and get a plus, okay, which is an increment. So we need to grab that, pull off the current stack. No, get the current stack, pull off that and press plus, and connect that to the execution pin. We then need to pull out on this current stack. No, we need to pull off the, I can't talk. We need to get the stack size text, and we need to pull this down and set text. Okay, and how we're going to do this is we're going to, if we connect the current stack to the text, it will give us the conversion. It'll give us the conversion, the to text integer. Okay, so what that's going to do, that's going to change the stack size text. Okay, and then what I want to do is, obviously, if we only have one available, I do not want this to show. So I'm going to click on this, on the stack size text, and I'm going to set it, the visibility, to hidden. Okay, first. So when we pick up one, it's hidden. When we pick up two, we then show it. So back to the graph, and this is what we're going to do here. So stack size, set visibility. And the visibility is going to be visible. Okay, so add picked item to stack. So the current stack we're going to add, and then obviously we're going to set the visibility to visible. Okay, but what we're going to do is when we click the button, yeah, now on here we have a button which is obviously going to have our information of that item on there. Okay, so now we need to create this button here. So if you go to the button, item button, scroll all the way down here, and you've got on clicked. It will create a function for on clicked. Okay, we want to pull off here and call this select item. Right, and it's got the actor class and the current stack. So the target is get player. No, we cannot do that, I'm afraid. All these messages. Right, so we need to get player pull. We need to pull off this and get the selected item message. Okay, the actor class is obviously this actor class here, and the current stack is obviously this current stack here of this particular item. This is what we're going to get. We're going to compile and we're going to save that. From here we're going to get the current stack, and we're going to minus it and connect that up there. We're going to pull off the current stack and equals. So if this equals to 0, we want to get a branch. Okay, so we want to get a branch. If this equals to 0 and it's true, then pull off here, remove from parent. Okay, so if we have got no more of these in the inventory, we need it to remove the widget pickup item from the parent. But if this is false, we need to set the text again. So we need to grab the text, and we need to set the text, and this text is going to go into the false. Okay, and then obviously from the current stack we want to drag this in. It's going to convert it into a text again. We're going to compile, we're going to save, and then obviously at the end of this we want to now check to see if we've only got one left. So we want to get the current stack, we want to pull off the current stack and press equal to 1. So if this equals to 1, we want to now set the stack size text visibility again. Okay, so we need to set the visibility to, that's true, we want to set it to hidden. Okay, so if we've only picked up 1, we're going to have no number. If we pick up 2, we're going to have a number. If we use 1 but still have 1 in the inventory, it's going to take away the number again. Okay, that's pretty much what this is doing. Now I think we're pretty much done on this section. If I remember correctly, I think this is what we need to do on our widget pickup. Now we need to do the third person, and it starts from this plant tree. Oh god, I can't take all that now. Yeah, it starts from this plant tree. Now this gets really complicated, and it needs to go into a function really, but I will do my best. Right, so let me get it up on this side because it has took a while. Right, so from the input action interface, which is what we're doing here, we're going into a for each loop with a break because we're getting the overlapping actors. This is all staying the same, and then we're planting the tree. Okay, this is all staying the same. Now the plant tree needs to have different variables added. So from here we need to add, I believe, plant tree. On the plant tree here we need to add 2 inputs. Okay, so I think this is on the farming. No, this is on the planting interface. Nope, it's on the farming interface. Farming interface here. So plant tree needs to have 2 more execution pins. First one being item class. Yep, actor class. You can tell it's late, can't you? It is actually 12 o'clock at night. So the next one is current stack size, which we ain't using just yet, but it's nice to have it in there. Compile this, save this, go back to ground, get this item class and drag it out and pop it where this spawn actor is, where this actor class is. We do not need this actor class now. We can compile, we can save that. This is what we need. Okay, and then obviously you could do a check here if you really wish to, but we don't need to do a check to let us know what one we're moving, what one we ain't. Bloody flies. Right, so now we can go back to the third person and we've got this item class here. Okay, now we're going to use a function where we're not going to quite exactly use it yet, but we're going to use the event select items to grab the actor class on the current stack. Okay, so on the select item one, wherever it is here, we're going to use this function. We will use it in the long run here, but we're going to use the actor class pin and the current stack pin here. Okay, so that's what it uses when we plant the tree. Okay, so what we need to do now is now we've done this, obviously from here, this is plant seed, dig ground. We don't need any of this at the moment, and destroy a tree. They're all sitting on the same. Hang on a minute. So see, yeah, okay, right. So what we need to do now, we need to go back onto our map, go to farming, go to master seed, and create a blueprint child class. Okay, and we're going to call this oak tree. And how we're going to make this different, this oak tree, we're going to literally click on it there, and we're going to change the leaves to bush. Okay, so it looks dead. Okay, and then we're going to right click, we're going to create blueprint child again, and we're going to call this cherry tree. So we have 2 different types of trees that we can use. We're going to right click this. No, we're going to open this up, sorry, my bad. We're going to click on the mesh and we're going to change this one to white. Okay, so you can tell the difference between the 2. Yeah, so one looks dead and one's white. So now what you can do is, if you click on the cherry tree itself, you have a lot of inputs to put in. Okay, so the first thing you need to do in the item class is, these are the first stage. I would leave all this exactly the same. We'd come onto here and type in cherry tree. We're not going to do this, but we need to get an item icon. Okay, so I'm going to just use wood for now, the oak for cherry. Okay, just so we've got it, and we need to change the stack size to say stack size to 5. Okay, compile, save, oak tree itself. We now need to go obviously to the item class oak tree. We need to change this to something else, so let's just, that'll do for the oak tree, and this one's going to be 5 as well. Now, fingers crossed, if we've done this correctly, this will work. And I'm hoping that I have done this correctly, because if it doesn't work, I'm going to look stupid. Alright, so okay, let's pull out a couple of these trees. So, character. Oh, shit, what am I doing? Blueprints, farming, Oak tree, cherry tree, cherry tree. Okay. So we turn on to that. Okay, they're not stacking. Okay, they're not stacking, which is something we can sort out, but they are, once they're being picked up, they are adding to the inventory. Okay, can we place them? Right, so let's pick up these. Click on this. Place. Okay, so we're clicking on them and they're disappearing, but they're not placing. Okay. Right. Let's have a look on pick up. Right, add item to stack. Pick up item data. Pick up item data here. Okay, right. So item class, let's select this. Right, so that's going to be item class. That's going to be current stack amount. Okay, and that's going to be max stack amount. Okay, let's try that because we obviously need the item data. Let's pick up these. Are they going to stack? No, they're not. We can work that out in a minute though. Click on one of these. No. Okay, let me figure this out and I will come back. Right, oh wow. Right, so I figured it out. It took me about 15 minutes to figure it out. Right, what the issue was, if you go to your third person template, you go to add item to inventory. I created this variable and set it. You don't need to do that. You need to pull off this return node and set item class. And then obviously collect the class up to here. The max stack for the minute. Yeah, these are normally connected like this. Yeah, we're just going to disconnect them. We're going to do them in the next video. Okay, so if you just hold on the Alt, it will disconnect these. Okay, we're going to do that next video. So that was the issue. Took about 20 minutes to figure it out. So yeah, now you can pick up these logs and you can pick up the cherry trees. And if we place the log down, the oak tree, place a cherry tree down, the cherry tree. Okay, so obviously it's letting us pick it up, which we will put a thing on it, but yeah, they will grow up and you can pick between what ones you want to add. I know this is a little bit longer of an episode. I did try and get as much as the inventory system done. Next video we'll do the planting. We will get this we will get the canting done, like the max stack and all that. We'll get that sorted out next video. We'll get the planting done and equipping a shovel and that so you can plant in flower beds and things like that. I showed you it halfway through this video. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you like, hit that like button. If this helped you, then hit that subscribe button. And yeah, all have a good day. This is Bulldog Games and I'm out. Oh, I can't get out of it.